Welcome back to Wednesday Web Chat. This is Carl Lewis, your host from Vision 33. And our guest today is Rosie Coronado from Boyum IT. We're going to be chatting about how to improve your supply chain productivity. So, Rosie, I'm going to try to stop sharing my screen here, and that way you can share your screen, and we'll talk about productivity when it comes to the supply chain.
That's correct. Thank you so much for having me, as always. So we're going to talk, actually, I know it says cloud apps, but we're going to talk about supply chains, about productivity in your supply chain, in your company, in your manufacturing floor. You know, how do you get control of your inventory? And I was talking to Carl earlier. What I would like to introduce to you is our cloud apps, which will help you tremendously in your supply chain. So what are cloud apps? That's one thing. You're like, what is that? So it's not your typical SAP Business One add-on, for example, you just registered in the database. Those are apps. We all know what apps are on the phone. We download apps all the time. Those are apps for your system. And you get an app which will benefit you. And the three we are having is like product management, where it's called Build, where you can actually create your bill of material on this app. You can do cost calculation, then upload it to SAP Business One. Then we have Produce, which is your terminals for SAP Business One. What it does is really you can register time and material on this app, and then we have quality control. So what are the challenging in manufacturing? You guys know in manufacturing, the challenge is really have all the data in one system. I'm a big believer in this. I used to implement. I did not like when there are several systems running and then you have to bring the data with spreadsheets together. No, this is not the way to go. So with the apps and with the scanning solution, for example, you have everything in SAP Business One. You can issue your material with a scanner because a lot of people want to scan. And you know what? Scanning is good because that gives you real-time data. You can, when you receive items, for example, or deliver items, you do it from a scanner, it flows back into SAP Business One. Okay, so you don't have to go and run somewhere or tell somebody to put this delivery in goods receipt, or hey, put these products in there. I issued this for productions. Podomex can with Boyum, it works with the solution. And then we have Produce. Produce is one of the apps. It helps you on the production floor. Okay, so again, you can say, I want the people on the production floor to issue the material, what they are using, and register time and material. But then again, what you see on this slide, no, you know what? I want to use a scanner and want to issue it ahead of time. So I want you to see that you have a lot of flexibility. You can issue ahead of time. You can have the people on the production floor issue it, and it all flows back into SAP Business One. Meaning you don't have to yell around anymore. What are you working on? Are you done with this? It will register in your database. Okay, so have everything real time in your database. And you have full visibility. Full visibility is one of the biggest thing. You as a manager, maybe of course, you want to know, hey, what is this operator working on? And if you do not have the right tools, you have paperwork. You print out paperwork, you write on paperwork, you bring paperwork to a different department, you get paperwork back, and no, it gets lost. It's not real-time data. So in here, you see that where do those three apps come in? It totally will help you with your process. You have Build that comes in on the Item Master Manager, where you can create bill of material. You have Produce. I call it actually an additional module. That app you plug into your database, and you have additional module. And once you run your MRP in your system, you create your production orders. Now, I actually have terminals. People on the shop floor have a tablet. They can see, oh, there's production orders. They have been released. I need to work on. No more paperwork. And also, I always say, get the people on the shop floor engaged and involved. They don't want the paperwork. It's annoying. Get them a tablet, get them a solution. I'm sure you guys have heard a lot digital transformation. Yes, give them solution that makes their work easier and get them engaged. You wouldn't believe how happy they are if they can learn something new, a new system. I always do. So people on the shop floor, they are very, very important, and they do the same. Okay. So you have produce right here, and then we have quality control. Of course, that's going to help you all over the place, because you can make sure your goods receipt. You do quality control on your goods receipts, you do quality control during production, and you do quality control after production. What does it do to you? You have satisfied customer because you have a quality control solution, and before you send it out, you go ahead and have a quality control order. I mean, when you receive it in from production, to make sure your product is correct. And then Protomix, can you see up here? This is where you can use with goods receipt, goods issue, and you can also issue for production. It's so flexible. If you look at all those solutions, they all work together because it's going to work with your core solution, and then you extend it. Basically, those are solutions that's missing, and it will totally improve your flow in the system. And as I said earlier, please involve your operators. They will like it. Nobody wants to do paperwork anymore. And you as a company, you want to have real-time data because you want to have real-time reports. So really quick about build. So build is, I'm not going to jump into the and show it live, but I'm going to show you the slides. And of course, if you want more details with any of those apps, to go to Carl, and he can always set up a demonstration for you. But here is build. It's product management. Let's say you're engineer to order, or you just constantly create new bill of material. Perfect solution. Yeah, you might say, I can do a bill of material in my system. Yes, you can. But here you are outside your system. You have different statuses. And the beauty is that you can do a cost calculation of that bill of material you just created to make sure you actually make money of it. So that's beautiful. You calculate your cost, and then once you're happy with it, you upload the bill of material into SAP in just one click into your solution. Produce. Let's talk about produce. Terminals, time clocks, whatever you prefer to call for your shop floor, for your production floor. What this does really is you have a manager. If you look at this, the manager has full visibility what's going on the shop floor. As I mentioned earlier, no more writing on paperwork and you work on this, you work on this. The manager has a nice dashboard. They see exactly, okay, this person is working on those production orders and using those resources. Another person is working on this and using those resources. You have full visibility. You can see who is working on what right now. You can see who worked on something before, if somebody did a partial stop, if somebody completed one of the route stages. Everything is has full visibility on this app. There's no more, going somewhere else and let me ask and back and forth. You have everything in one application. And you on the shop floor, on the production floor, you also, of course, are in control. You decide what needs to be released. You decide what the operators can see. Okay, because if you don't release, they cannot see that production order. Okay, and then of course the manager has full visibility, and then you have the operator. I'm coming to work, and I visited a customer, which made me very happy. Everybody had their little tablets, and all the operators were very, very involved and very happy because they love to just go look at the tablet. They see all the production orders being released, and they just click start. And as you can see here, your time is ticking. And then after this, once they are done with the route stage, with an operation, they can register their time and material. And when I say register time and material, you decide, do I want the operator to register the material, or do I want to use a scanning solution to, do I want to use a scanning solution? Like, I'm going to pull it up quick. I think you guys can see it. And I'm going to issue for production ahead of time. It all talks together. You decide and you configure the way you want it. Okay, so that was the shop floor. That was the shop floor operator. So you have the manager, full visibility, no more running back and forth, and you have real-time data. I'm a big believer on real-time data, and get the shop floor operators involved. They will love it. To learn something new, to go digital, no more manual stuff. Then we have inspect. I'm just going to go through it, and then we're going to do Q&As, guys. I don't know, Louis, you, Carl, you mentioned that before. We do this at the end. Then we have inspect, quality control. Make your customers happy. You want to make sure you get good material, right? You want to make sure you produce good material. Absolutely. So now you have a quality control solution. You plug into your database. And it's an extension again, just like Produce, because Produce is an extension to go out to the shop floor. And quality control is an extension. It's a new module. So again, you have the quality control manager. The quality control manager sets up all the rules. When do I want to have an inspection order? What is the logic behind? Is it because for a certain item group, for a certain vendor, for a certain customer, if I produce something, you set up the rules and automation. You set up different plans. What do they need to check? Is it something visual? Is it an attribute? Is it parameters? You set all this up right here. And then, of course, you guys, if you have heard me before, I'm all about automation. Then you put the logic in there, and it automatically creates those inspection orders. And it will tell you if it passed or if it failed. Okay. So again, you have quality control. All the configuration is on here, because in your system, you don't have a quality control module. So everything, the plans, the sampling plans, all this will be set up here. And then again, going back to the operator, you have an operator. Again, get them involved. They don't want to have paperwork and scribble on it. The quality control department, they want to have it digital. Give them a tablet, because this is all web browse. All they need is really internet and a tablet. And I got to tell all of you, it looks great on tablet, because I've visited customers. It's the perfect thing. So they go in here, and just like on the production side, but now we are in the quality control department. Now they see all those quality control orders, and they're just going to go through those inspections. And the manager again sees right away, oh, this operator is working on this quality control order. I have 10 samples, and I see that they only did 6 so far. You have full visibility, and I can not say this enough, because to me it's always important. You know what's going on with your organization and have real-time data. Okay, so that's quality control right there. So those are the solutions, and I'm gonna go back right here, because if I know there's I'm talking about 4 solutions. There's build, you do your bill of material, you have produce, you have additional, I would say additional module, right? Additional area you can add on, you plug it in, and then you have quality control where you can do quality control, by the way, goods received PO, during production and after production. And the beauty is if you have the app inspect, it's quality control, so inspect, you can see if you do a quality control and inspection order during production, this produce will see it in the system. It will tell the operator from produce, hey, there's a quality control order, and it will tell him it failed, it passed, and so on. So as you can see, everything is integrated very well. So you have all the tools to make your system run smooth and have real-time data, have real visibility, and get all your employees involved and go digital. No more paperwork. Are there any questions?
Yes, Rosie, we did have one question, and then we've got a couple of more kind of queuing up here. This customer has an on-premises software system, right? And they're wondering, can we use these applications in our on-premises system, or do they have to be cloud?
Oh, this is a wonderful question. I'm so glad you asked that, because I get that a lot. We do not care where your SAP is running. Okay, the most important thing, you got to be on version 10. Carl mentioned this earlier, that the 10 book, we work through the service layer. Okay, so we work through the service layer. If you have your SAP on a cloud or on premises, we don't care. All we need is your service layer address, not we. The setup, and you need internet, and it's connected. And also, it doesn't matter where the server is. For example, my server in the US, though I don't sound like it, right? My server is in Europe. I connect to that database because it's internet-based. I hope that answered your question.
I'm sure it does, along with some other things that I typed for them. The next question really is, are build, produce, and inspect all part of Protomex Scan, or are they separate programs that integrate together?
It's separate programs. Another good question. So, Boyum, I hope you all have the usability package. Okay. So that's a solution of Boyum. Protomex Scan is a solution of Boyum. Build is a solution. Inspect, produce. So if you say, what, I really don't need a build, but I need quality control, you just go with inspect. You don't have to get them all. It's what works for you. This was an example today, is what the tools we have out of the box, basically, more out of the box, not a huge implementation. It's just, okay, you know what? I really want to start scanning. I'm working in SAP. It works well for me, but I want to start scanning. This is the solution for your scan. And we run production, and I'm tired of printing production orders and keying it in manually. I want to have a shop floor solution. Then you get produce. So this is not part of the scan. These are all different solutions. Scan is a regular add-on. Many of you might know. And build, produce, and inspect are apps. I hope that answered your question.
For sure. So Rosie, the Protomex Scan application, is kind of it's a regular add-on. So whether you're, on premises or in the cloud,
yep.
Today, it installs there, and
exactly.
the handhelds are installed and all of those things.
Yep.
That's a little bit bigger. I'm anticipating that's a little bit bigger of an implementation project than build, produce, or inspect might be. Is that the case?
Yes, it is. So Protomex Scan, because you have to configure it, you got to configure your scanners and all this. Absolutely. Compare to the apps, and it's the new technology, an app like Produce or Inspect, you plug it in and go. I see a lot of times it's like turning on a light switch. Of course, you got to have power and all this stuff. So what you do, you configure your connection from your database to the app. You synchronize it the first time because you gotta look at your items, your production orders and stuff like that, and then you're ready to go. So yes, it is the apps. It maybe takes a day per app or so because it's really you plug it in and you're ready to go. You're absolutely right.
And do some of these apps, do they require like the addition of user-defined tables, user-defined fields in the SAP Business One database?
Yes. So, Produce guys, we look at SAP Business One database because the production order comes from SAP and we post back to SAP. Reporting, you do in SAP because we are putting it back to SAP automatically, not like you do now manually. For inspect, yes, we do create 4 user tables because if you think about it, SAP Business One doesn't have any quality control module, nothing. So what we're doing, this was requested by many, many customers because you want to print a quality certificate. And we have one out of the box on the app, but you cannot modify it. This is really if you need one really quick. So we are pushing the results of your quality control orders back to SAP Business One into those 4 tables. And then you can create your own quality certificate you want to send to the vendors or whoever needs it. Or you want to create your own dashboards, for quality control and say, hey, show me, the items they fail the most, what is the reason code and blah, blah, blah. So you can do your own reporting and in SAP Business One. So yes.
Well, that sounds great. Well, Rosie, thanks so much for joining us today. We appreciate it a lot. Business One, many of our customers run Business One from a manufacturing perspective. And these applications kind of fill in the gaps and definitely take Business One's manufacturing capabilities up an entire level, and really are very, very helpful and at a really great cost-effective point. So it's a great solution, and because you can choose one, the other, 2 of them, just one of them, whatever, you get what you need and not a whole lot else. So we appreciate it, and I'm sure that many of our customers will be paying attention to these apps in the months ahead. So thanks a lot for being with us.
My pleasure, as always. And if you want to do a deep dive on those apps, please contact Carl's team, and absolutely we can do a deep dive.
Wonderful. And we'll see all of you again on the next Wednesday web chat.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.